and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everyone. We remind you the polls are still open for 1 hour on the special election for state senate. Is there any public comment from the board?
Yes, I have a public comment. I thought it was wonderful to see so many citizens at the special town meeting, and inspirational to hear a variety of voices expressing their opinion on matters of import to our town. It was gratifying to hear folks add their voices to the conversation this town has been having for many years about the disposition of town buildings and land. This conversation moved front and center in 2013, when the Board of Selectmen determined that a building reuse committee should be formed. Newly elected Selectman Jamie Toll grabbed the torch and enlisted architects, planners, businessmen, and other professionals to work together to find possible solutions to the town's building surplus and the need for adequate municipal office space. They took charge to find ways to utilize town resources to find the most economical way to carve out practical office space at the lowest cost to taxpayers. They reported their findings to the annual town meeting in 2016. It seems that was an awakening for some residents who joined the conversation, especially at this special town meeting. The hope is that these folks stay engaged and help the town come to grips with how to get what we need at a price we can afford. I also wanted to mention that the decorations at the gazebo and on the common look great, and thank everyone who helped put those things up. Also, the Lunenburg Family Gift Mart is planning their 9th annual event. It's being held in mid-December by invitation only to folks who use the Lunenburg Food Pantry and through the Lunenburg School District and local churches. Donations of unwrapped gifts are displayed for our invited guests to shop for their families free of charge. Last year, Gift Mart helped more than 130 Lunenburg families enjoy their holiday, and the hope is to get even more this year. To do this, we need your help. The Gift Mart accepts new unwrapped gifts for children or adults of all ages in the donation boxes located around town. They'll be available through December 7th. Also, you can send a check to the Lunenburg Gift Mart. The information is at lunenburggiftmart.com. Thanks.
Thank you. Is there any public hearing from the public, public comment from the public? Please.
Hi, good evening. It's Katie Adams from Williams Drive, and I wasn't planning to public comment, but I just wanted to touch upon Phyllis's comment about Building Reuse Committee forming in 2013, and there is a lot of information there. Originally, after meeting for 4.5 months, it was their recommendation to sell most parcels of land, including the TC Passios land. And at that time, in 2013, they cited that that building would be too costly to maintain and repair. And the plan in 2013 was to consolidate into Town Hall. And interestingly, in 2013, there were already sketches and schematics of private development projects to take place on these parcels. So I think if we're going to talk about, 2013 to 2016, we should talk about a lot of the things that happened in between those years. Thank you.
Any other public comment? Okay, our first order of business is a public hearing on a license violation for Embers Pizza. This public hearing was duly posted and notified for November 14th and continued to this evening. Let me just quickly go through our procedures for liquor license hearings. We will have an official hearing. Everyone testifying must be sworn in. We will swear in the complainant, which is the town, and the police officers. The license holder, the town will present its testimony, The license holder or a representative will present testimony. The board will ask questions. We'll close the public hearing. The board will deliberate and make a finding. And if we find a violation has occurred, we will determine a penalty. At this time, I'd like to ask anyone who plans to testify, the complainant and any representative of the license holder, to please come forward. Please state your name. Officer.
Officer John Morelli Jr.
Ken Ricker, owner of Embers Pizza.
Thank you. Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly and sincerely affirm, under the penalties of perjury, that the testimony you are about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Officer Morales.
Good evening. Following is a summary of events from Thursday, September 21st, 2017, between 5 p.m. and 9 p.m. Officer Tossi and I conducted an alcohol enforcement initiative utilizing a 20-year-old party who is known to this department. The purpose of this initiative was to ensure that businesses in town that were licensed to sell and pour alcohol were properly checking the identification of their patrons and no underage sale was taking place. Specific guidelines were given to us by Sergeant Hebert, who was trained in this topic. The underage party was a 20-year-old male who was known to officers of the department and is considered to be both trustworthy and reliable. In accordance with the guidelines, he was addressed appropriately for his age without attempting to present himself as older or younger than he was. He was wearing a green Bar Harbor Whale Watch t-shirt, light brown khaki pants, and black boots. A picture was taken of the party's attire. He was instructed to enter stores and bars attempting to purchase alcohol without identification. He was instructed not to have any other belongings with him for the duration of the initiative and not to be deceptive with his requests. The party was subjected to a portable breath test at the beginning, which yielded a blood alcohol concentration of 0%. He was provided with $80 for $20 bills for use if he was able to successfully purchase alcohol. If he was successful at a store, he was instructed to bring the alcohol directly to us. If he was successful at a bar, he was not to touch the alcohol in any way. The initiative was conducted at all stores and bars in the town of Lunenburg. The list below represents the 2 violations that occurred. All remaining businesses abided by the law regulations denying the sale of alcohol to the underage party. Embers Pizzeria, 84 Lakefront Street. At 5:58 p.m., the party entered the bar, sat at the bar, and requested a Coors Light draft beer. He advised us that the bartender, later identified as Alyssa Burns, did not request identification and provided him with a glass of beer. He did not touch the glass and promptly exited at 6:01 p.m. At the conclusion of the initiative, the party was administered another PBT, which resulted in a blood alcohol concentration of 0%. Officer Tossi and I returned to the 2 establishments to advise them of their violations. Nothing further.
Thank you. Were any questions for Officer Morial?
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Ricker? You have a response?
Yeah, I have video and it happened. I can't deny it. The bartender has been relieved of her duties, and we had a representative from one of the area companies come in and retrain the staff. We've been open for 3.5 years. We've had a lot of these done, and we've passed them all. There's nothing I can really say. I wasn't, it wasn't me IDing the person. Obviously, it wasn't her either. But we've taken all the necessary steps to ensure that this won't happen again. And that's all I can really say to you. I can't deny anything. It happened. It's happened exactly the way he said. And we watched the video, and it was very clear. She was under the impression it was one of the kids in the kitchen that has a few beers after work, and before they go home, or when they're off work and they come in. She just didn't think it was a underage person. She thought it was someone that worked in the establishment. So that's all I have. I can't really say anything else about it.
Any questions for Mr. Ricker?
So, based on other hearings that we've had, other establishments have established written policies and have things posted.
We have that, and I have a written policy that we've always had. I think Elaine has it on record for both establishments. They went into On the Rocks that night also, which passed. We do have that, and we take it serious. It's our livelihood, so that we can't have this stuff happen. So that's why she no longer works for us, and she understands. You know, she felt terrible too, but it's just the way it is. You have a job to do, and that's what we have to do.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Mr. Ricker?
Is this your first violation?
It is, yeah. Like I said, it's our livelihood, so it's serious. We take it very serious, and that's why we had the company come right in and just retrain. It's one of those things, you know, you deal with a lot of people, and you try to remember people, but, you know, she was under the impression that he worked for us. She just thought it was someone else. She understands, and she understands why we had to do what we did. You know, it's too important to us, so.
Does anybody else have anything to say? I'm going to close the public hearing.
I would make a motion to find that there was a violation.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye. And I would make a motion consistent with the other violations that we issue a warning.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so you'll be notified by mail of a warning, and we appreciate that you appreciate the seriousness of this.
I do, and I appreciate the warning, because I know it could have gone anyway, and we do appreciate it. We take it serious, just so you know, and hopefully we won't be back here again for any of these things.
We don't want to see you for that.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Have a good night.
All right, our next appointment is a license transfer application for Aon Corp. doing business as Hilltop Farms, 1 Main Street, formerly Hadwin Market. It's their representatives there. Let me read the hearing notice, please. The Lunenburg Licensing Authority will hold a public hearing on December 5th, 2017 at 7:05 p.m. in the Lunenburg Town Hall, Joseph Pilata Meeting Room, 2nd floor, 17 Main Street, Lunenburg, on the application submitted by Aon Corporation doing business as Hilltop Farms for a transfer of a package store, wine and malt alcohol license, change of manager, change of DBA, and pledge of the license inventory from Ole Ahad Incorporated, DBA Hadwin Market, located at 1 Main Street, Lunenburg, Mass. The premises is described as a 1,700 square foot variety store with 1 entrance and 1 exit dock area on the right side of the building. Jamie Toll, Chairman, Board of Selectmen Licensing Authority. So I open the hearing and invite you to...
Sure. My name is Attorney John Meridian, Democus Law Offices. With me is Tejal Ben Patel. She has formed Aon Corporation and entered into a purchase and sale agreement with Ole Haddad to buy the business over here at Hadwin Market right next door. We're here today seeking 4 things: approval of the transfer to Aon Corporation, approval of Tejal Ben as manager of record, approval of a pledge of the license and inventory to Rockland Trust Company, and change of the DBA name to Hilltop Farms. Tejal will be manager of record, like I said. She's very experienced. She's been involved in the alcohol retail sales for about 10 years now. She is tip certified. She has not had issues with underage service in her other stores. She'll run a very clean store. The operations will be the exact same operation as it is currently now. No changes to hours, no changes to anything really. She expects to have 2 to 3 employees. They currently work there now too, to stay with her and work with her. I welcome any questions you guys may have for myself or for Tejal then.
Any questions or comments from the board?
So now everyone who sells liquor has to be tip certified? Is that right? No.
It's not a requirement, but some towns do require it. But I recommend my clients do it just to have training in terms of, what to expect when they're selling alcohol. It is kind of happening now across the state where towns do require tip certification for the managers at least.
I believe it's required if you serve alcohol, but if
Oh,
you sell
okay.
it retail, it's recommended but not required.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? Shall I close the public hearing and deliberate? We have 4 things, I guess, to talk about. So the first would be the transfer, well, I guess...
Is it all of them at once, or?
Sure.
So for discussion purposes, I would make a motion that we approve the 4 requested items, including the transfer, the new manager, the pledge, and what was the 4th one?
The DBA change.
And the DBA, doing business as change of name.
Second.
Is there any discussion? I guess I just want to point out that I saw it in here someplace, the actual pledge.
Pledge agreement?
Yeah, the pledge, well, not the pledge agreement, but MGL states that you cannot pledge a license without the approval of the licensing board. No, we have everything in order
form.
in terms of the paperwork?
Yep,
Okay.
it is.
So we've had a motion and a second, and discussion. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good luck.
That's
That's all we need for that one?
yes. Well, for actual license, do that.
All right, our next order of business is interviews, appointments, resignations. On the town manager to tell us of a resignation.
This is just to notify the board that we received the resignation of Tina LePage as the Assistant Town Clerk on November 20th. Her last day was December 1st. So it's currently being advertised internally. And that posting expires Friday, and then we'll be advertising externally if we do not receive any applicants. And I want to thank also Tina for all the work that she did in the office. She did an incredible amount.
Okay. Next item is the town manager report.
Okay, so I'll start off with the town facilities charrette, and just a recap of the walking tour. We had the walking tour on Saturday, December 2nd, and we had about 30 attendees who heard about the current condition of the building, were able to see firsthand the condition of the buildings, and ask questions along the way. We received positive feedback at the end of the tour and appreciation that we held the tour. So overall, a good event, I believe. The first charrette will be part of a series of charrettes, and the first one will be on Thursday, December 7th at 7 p.m. at the Middle School, High School Collaborative Room, A130. And this will be an opportunity to share ideas, envision, and build consensus around the future use of town buildings and land. We will do breakout groups and discuss the development options for each of the buildings, and have a visioning component for the town center focused on the town buildings and land. An important goal is to increase public participation on this topic. The event is advertised on the website, has been sent to the Lunenburg Ledger Facebook page, as well as the Lunenburg Mass Facebook page, and the Sentinel will be featuring an article before the event as well. Update on the Complete Streets Prioritization Plan. We held our first meeting with the consultant hired to create the town's Complete Streets Project Prioritization Plan today, and that included the DPW director, the police chief, the fire chief, the land use director, the school superintendent, and myself. This was an opportunity for each official to identify possible projects that would eliminate hazardous intersections, increase safety, address ADA accessibility, pedestrian bicycle safety, and enhance transit. The next step is to set a date for the public outreach portion to hear feedback from the various other public officials, as well as the public, on areas in town that would increase safety and accessibility for all modes of travel for people of all ages and abilities. I would recommend we use the January Board of Selectmen's workshop to hold this forum.
Do you know what the date is of that?
Would be January 9th, I believe. The first meeting is January 2nd.
Do we have anything else on our workshop list that's?
Not that I could recall.
Okay. I think that's a good suggestion.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we should decide on it and, get the word out to earlier than we have.
So is that agreed upon for January 9th? We can do that? All right.
Sure.
I'll let our consultant know and put something together to advertise that in advance. Okay. My Town Government. So in the near future, we will be switching over to an electronic meeting and agenda posting method using a software called My Town Government. And the website for that is, if anyone wants to peruse it, is mytowngovernment.org. Tina LePage, who just resigned as the assistant town clerk, started this process this month of putting all the board, committee, commission, and regional board information into this new system with the memberships of each of the boards and their regular meeting locations. The person who is responsible for posting the agendas for each board, committee, or commission will be given a login and password so that they can post meetings ahead of time and upload agendas by the 48-hour deadline prior to the meeting. Working with the town clerk and IT director, we will make sure everyone is comfortable with using the software before switching over completely. Since I have used the software in the past, I will hold training sessions for the people responsible for posting meetings for anyone who would like to attend those. Currently, the official posting method is the bulletin board outside the town hall. To create greater efficiencies in the posting process, we are looking to replace the outdoor bulletin board with both using the website that links to mytowngovernment.org and another approved method of posting by the Attorney General, such as installing a kiosk on the ground floor that would display the meeting notices.
So this will free up a lot of time from the town clerk.
Yes. And create more efficiencies within town by not having to go physically to the town clerk's office to post meetings. They can do it from their home, log in, upload the agenda. You can upload minutes. People can subscribe to meetings notices on the site as well. So you receive those
Notified by
notifications.
email and-
Yes,
right.
yep.
What does, ultimately, if we change the approved method of posting, does that require a,
Attorney General's approval.
okay. And does it require anything to the bylaws or the charter or anything? No? Okay.
So is that still like a hard copy thing, or could we get like a TV display and just have them posted on there automatically?
We could do it as a kiosk, so a TV screen that would display the meeting notices on our running course. So we could put it on our cable. It could be both locations.
Cool.
Great.
And where is the official record going to be kept?
The town clerk's office.
Town clerk's office,
Mhm.
okay.
It would still be that, and we would still have to have, for anyone coming to the town clerk's office, would have to be able to see those notices. And our method of posting would have to be posted on the bulletin board, both in the front entrance and by handicap accessible entrance.
Thank you.
You're welcome. An update on the TC Pasio's Kitchen. On November 16th, I met with Neshoba Health District Board of Health agent Bridget Braley and School Facilities Director John Londa at the TC Pasio's Kitchen to discuss what would be involved in permitting the kitchen as a commercial kitchen. As it stands now, the Board of Health would require that in order to permit the facility, the town would need to be the lead permit holder, and any business owners using the facility would also need to be permitted under the town's licensed facility. Each business would require their own separate locked refrigeration units. Businesses would not be allowed to bring in any other their own equipment, such as an extra commercial oven, and depending on the type of business operating out of the kitchen, it may require the dishwasher to be operational, which would then trigger another grease trap permit from the Sewer Commission. Permitting the facility in this manner would prohibit certain types of businesses from operating out of that space and puts the town at more risk. I would recommend that we have a joint meeting between the Boards of Health, the Selectmen, and the Sewer Commission to discuss the process of permitting the TC Pasio's Kitchen as a commercial kitchen and how we can work together to lessen the liability for the town, as well as utilize the space to benefit our local businesses.
This is because it could be more than one business using the property at one time, as opposed to leasing it to an individual company that might do it on a long-term basis.
Either way, that
Because
was the Board of Health's position.
So the question I have is Crossroads, where Extapa and Dario's restaurant, they're tenants of the landlord. Does the owner of the property own the permit for those two properties?
I would assume, based on my conversation with Bridget Braley, is that they are the licensed permit holder, and they sub-license out the other person that leases the space.
I would be interested in seeing the state law that requires this. You know, I would ask them to provide that to us in advance of our meeting.
Okay.
What is the sense of urgency on, I mean, I think it's a great idea that the three boards get together if we're going to consider this an option, but do we have a proposal in front of us that might generate revenue that we need to hurry to respond
I've been
to?
working with the same business owner since the summer on trying to get this process moving forward. These are the hurdles that we're obviously need to overcome before that can happen. So this needs to occur before anything with that business owner happens.
Okay. Well, I agree with Mr. Ebusol that we should find out exactly why we need to be in the middle of this, but let's proceed with a certain amount of haste so that we.
Yep.
Right.
Right.
Now, the locked refrigeration units, we mustn't have separate locked refrigeration units at this point.
We have 2 refrigeration units over there, so we would have enough for 2 businesses right now.
Okay.
But the oven unit that is over there is quite small, so anyone that,
Interesting.
yes, that would like to utilize another, their business uses that piece of equipment would be limited if they can't bring in their own equipment.
They mentioned on the tour that they took some of the equipment out of there to use for other purposes, so it may not be all the original stuff.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see. They probably just moved it to the other facility
Right.
because it was in good shape.
Right. A couple announcements. The Summer Street project bids have been postponed until February 6, 2018. And today we received certification from the Department of Revenue that the fiscal 18 tax rate was set. And the rate will be $19.70 per thousand. So this is down 28 cents from fiscal 17.
Which does not mean that your taxes are going down, because the
Correct.
evaluations have gone up.
And that's all I have.
Our next item of current business is to announce the, well, actually, I did want to make a comment on the charrette on there's not so much the charrette, but the walking tour. The public access cable television channel taped that walking tour and has a program that's airing on channel 9, I believe, might be 8, but on the cable channel. It's also up on YouTube if anybody's interested in
that's
seeing that. So it's up. And the town manager and I are going to meet tomorrow to plan to finalize the plans for the charrette on Thursday night. We're probably not going to televise that, but we'll do the best we can to keep good records, because we're having small group meetings and report outs and everything. It may not lend itself to it. But if we can figure out a way to do that, we will. Okay. The first item of current business was on the town manager's report as well, and that's an announcement of the ratification of the collective bargaining agreement with the professional firefighters.
Thank you. So the contract was ratified by both the Professional Firefighters Bargaining Unit and the town through the Board of Selectmen, and it is for a 3-year agreement starting July 1st, 2017 until June 30th, 2020. The main provisions of the agreement are as follows. Wages, there was a market adjustment for the fiscal 18 wages and a 2% cost of living adjustment for fiscal 19 and fiscal 20 of the agreement. It provided for 2 additional holidays that will be the same as other union and non-union employees. It reduced the recall period for employees that were laid off from 2 years to 18 months. It added a new position of firefighter paramedic to the compensation schedule. It established a flat stipend for a member of the unit less than the rank of captain who is assigned as the department's fire prevention officer, and provided clarification and statutory updates to certain articles within the agreement. Special town meeting approved the transfer of $13,884.22 from the salary reserve line item in the current year's budget for the first year of the contract.
Okay. All right, so the meat of our meeting now is to review and renew licenses for the coming year under several categories. I believe we have them in here someplace. And which ones are we going to start with?
The alcohol license renewals. Okay, I'm going to read those off.
Yep,
Okay.
please.
Four
And I guess we'll do this, the town manager will read off the licensee name and the DBA, and if there's something we want to discuss, we'll hold it. Otherwise, we'll approve them all in one motion, all right? Go ahead.
449 Corp. doing business as Lakeview Club for a general on-premise all alcohol license. American Graffiti Inc. doing business as American Graffiti for an all alcohol restaurant license. B&H Corporation doing businesses Mickey Shays Restaurant all alcohol. Carol and Henry Baker doing business as Baker's Whalum Variety for a package store wine and malt license. Central Mass Garden Center Incorporated doing business as Central Mass Gardens for a package store wine and malt license. Donald E. Lyons doing business as Settlers Pub for a general on-premise all alcohol license. Donley's Tavern Inc. doing business as Donley's Tavern for a restaurant all alcohol license. Elena's Gourmet Grocery Inc. doing business as Elena's Gourmet Grocery package store all alcohol license. 50 Mass Ave doing business as The Bootlegger for a restaurant all alcohol license. Genghis Inc. doing business as Jack's Country Variety for a package store wine and malt license. Honey Farms Inc. doing business as Honey Farms Store 93/3829 for a package wine and malt license. Zhang Yun Lu Inc. doing business as Asian Imperial Garden for a restaurant all alcohol license. JK Waterfront Inc. doing business as On the Rocks for a restaurant all alcohol license. KJ Waterfront Inc. doing business as Embers Pizzeria for a restaurant all alcohol license. Lunenburg Zita's Inc. doing business as Bad Larry's for a restaurant all alcohol license. Melendez Menagna Inc. doing business as Dario's for a restaurant all alcohol license. MIJ Inc. doing business as J&M Sports Bar for a general on-premise all alcohol license. Ol Ahad doing business as Hayden Market for a package store wine and malt license. PP Group LLC doing business as Bangkok Hill for a wine and malt on-premise license. Red Pepper Inc. doing business as Zappa Cantina for the restaurant all alcohol license. Sarjudas LLC doing business as Lunenburg Liquors package store all alcohol license. SE Flan Inc. doing business as Sean Patrick's for a restaurant all alcohol license. And Victory Distributors LLC doing business as Hannaford Supermarket and Pharmacy for a package store all alcohol license.
And just the point on Ole Hadwin Market, we just transferred that license.
Yeah.
I assume that would change once the alcoholic ABCC approves it.
Correct.
I would make a motion that we approve the alcohol license renewals as read by the town manager.
Second?
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Where we go next?
The miscellaneous.
Okay.
For automatic music licenses, Donnelly's Tavern Inc. doing business as Donnelly's Tavern. American Graffiti Inc. doing business as American Graffiti. Carol and Henry Baker doing business as Baker's Whalum Variety. MIJ Inc. doing business as J&M Sports Bar. 449 Corp. doing business as Lakeview Club. B&H Corporation doing business as Mickey Shays. Lunenburg Zita's Inc. doing business as Bad Larry's. Whalum Gas doing business as Whalum Gas. Want me to continue?
Yeah, we can do
Jukebox.
all the miscellaneous.
Okay. For jukebox license, American Graffiti Inc. doing business as American Graffiti. B&H Corporation doing business as Mickey Shays. Donley's Tavern Inc. doing business as Donley's Tavern. JK Waterfront Inc. doing business as On the Rocks. Lunenburg Zita's Inc. doing business as Bad Larry's. MIJ Inc., doing business as J&M Sports Bar, and 449 Corp., doing business as Lakeview Club. For weekday entertainment licenses, American Graffiti, doing business as Inc., doing business as American Graffiti, B&H Corporation, doing business as Mickey Shays, Donley's Tavern Inc., doing business as Donley's Tavern, 50 Mass Ave, doing business as The Bootlegger, MIJ Inc., doing business as J&M Sports Bar.
Just a question on that, in light of our earlier discussion earlier this year regarding weekday licenses versus Sunday. Do any of these entities need to have a Sunday license for what they are doing, and do they realize that weekday does not include Sunday? I'm not going to change the action now, but we probably need to look into that.
And the last one, a miscellaneous license for Kebabalicious LLC, doing business as Kebabalicious.
Or BYOB.
BYOB. Okay.
I would make a motion that we approve the miscellaneous licenses as just read by the town manager.
Second?
Any discussion? My question is, it's BYOB, I know that we had a discussion about this. Is that, do we have a certain number of them, or is that anybody that applies we can consider on a one-off?
I don't think that's
I don't
limited.
think we have a limit.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we can go to the common victular licenses. 449 Corp., doing business as Lakeview Club, American Graffiti Inc., doing business as American Graffiti, Carol and Henry Baker, doing business as Baker's Whale and Variety, Conrad's Drive-In Inc., doing business as Conrad's Drive-In, Dippin' Donuts, doing business as PK&P Corp., Donald E. Lyons, doing business as Settlers Pub, Donley's Tavern Inc., doing business as Donley's Tavern, Dragonfly Garden Cafe LLC, doing business as Dragonfly Garden Cafe, 50 Mass Ave, doing business as The Bootlegger, Genghis Inc., doing business as Jack's Country Variety, Global Montello Group Inc., doing business as Honey Farms, number 3829, J&D Enterprise Inc., doing business as Shady Point Beach and Campground, Jun Lu Inc., doing business as Asian Imperial Garden, JK Waterfront Inc., doing business as On the Rocks, Kebabalicious LLC, doing business as Kebabalicious, KJ Waterfront Inc., doing business as Embers Pizzeria, Lonnie Orchards Inc., doing business as Lonnie Orchards, Lunenburg Zetas Inc., doing business as Bad Larry's, Melinda's Magna, doing business as Dario's, MIJ Inc., doing business as J&M Sports Bar, Neshoba Valley Donuts LLC, doing business as Dunkin' Donuts, Ole Ahad, doing business as Hadwin Market, Hadwin, Paul and Linda O'Connell, doing business as Lunenburg Exxon, PP Group LLC, doing business as Bangkok Hill, Presto Pizza Inc., doing business as Presto Pizza, Red Pepper Inc., doing business as Estapa Cantina, Sarjudas LLC, doing business as Lunenburg Liquors, SC Flan Inc., doing business as Sean Patrick's, Stella's Coffee Shop, doing business as Stella's Coffee Shop, Victory Distributors LLC, doing business as Hannaford Supermarket and Pharmacy, Whalum Gas, doing business as Whalum Gas, and White Farm Limited, doing business as Cherry Hill Ice Cream.
Make a motion that we approve the common victular licenses as read by the town manager.
Second?
Discussion. I believe that Ole Ahad, we changed the name on that one as well.
Correct, so when that,
When that renews,
goes-
it'll be a different one.
yes.
Okay. And the other one I have is just on the top of the page. It's called Town of Lunenburg 2017 License Renewals. But it's for the year 2018. Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, where we go? Which one you want to do?
Okay. The last one is
Well, we got
motor-
two left, right?
see.
Oh, okay. We got auto dealers, right?
All right.
Yes. Auto dealers. So, auto dealer license renewals for Class 1, Colonial Imports, Inc., doing business as North End Subaru, Colonial Imports West, Inc., doing business as North End Mazda. Recreational Dimensions, Inc., doing business as Central Mass Power Sports. Chapdelaine Truck Center, Inc., doing business as Chapdelaine Truck Center, Inc. Joe Smalley Auto Sales, Inc., doing business as Daewoo North. Class 2 licenses, Carol and Henry Baker, doing business as Baker's Towing. Custom Auto Body and Sales, Inc., doing business as Custom Auto Sales and Storage. Mass Ave Motors, Inc., doing business as Mass Ave Motors, Inc. Peter M. Kelly, doing business as PMK Motor Sales. John V. Gogan, doing business as JG Service. Colonial Imports, Inc., doing business as North End Subaru. Robert C. and Michael Lovewell, doing business as RC Motors. P&S Trucks and Parts, Inc., doing business as P&S Trucks and Parts, Inc. Baker Enterprise Company Incorporated, doing business as the Auto Barn. And Michael Bartanowski, doing business as KC Sales and Services, LLC. For Class 3 licenses, P&S Trucks and Parts, Inc., doing business as P&S Trucks and Parts, Inc., and Michael R. Chapdelaine, doing business as Chapdelaine Auto Salvage.
I make a motion that we approve the Class 1, Class 2, and Class 3 licenses, auto dealer licenses for 2018 as read by the town manager.
Second?
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. That does the licenses. Now we will sign all of them at the conclusion of the meeting. Great. So hope you brought a good pen. Next item is minutes. I have minutes for October 17th, October 23rd, and October 25th. Are there any warrants?
Yes.
An accounts payable warrant in the amount of $173,552.89. An accounts payable warrant in the amount of $251,302.76. And a payroll warrant in the amount of $740,137.30. Any action? No issues. Okay. Committee reports. Mr. McQuaid.
No.
Mrs. Luck.
The school committee met on November 16th. They discussed the FY18 budgets for health, facilities and grounds, and technology, as well as proposals for FY19. There's a meeting tomorrow night, and they will discuss the budget requests from the schools, special services, and the athletic program. On November 15th, I attended the annual meeting of the Central Mass Regional Stormwater Coalition. The coalition currently has an operating budget of $304,000, and they are trying to find ways to organize workshops and get more benefit out to their members, so they're looking for ideas. The ZBA will meet on Wednesday, December 13th, to hear requests for special permits. One is to allow construction on a lot that has 28 feet of frontage rather than the required 50 feet. And there's also another permit request to allow ecological fibers to create a third driveway on their Pioneer Drive property. The MART Advisory Board met on November 21st. There was a great deal of discussion on the Council on Aging transportation contract, the latest version, which has now been sent out, and there's a great deal of discussion going on about it. The next meeting will be December 19th.
Mr. Eversole.
No report?
No report for myself. Any department reports?
No.
Okay. Our upcoming meeting schedule, again, we have our meeting Thursday evening. That is a charrette having to do with buildings in town center. We have meetings on December 12th and December 19th. Is there any public comment from the public? Any public comment from the board? Okay.
Make a motion, we adjourn?
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good night, everybody.